Good evening. I am your host, Adrian Maddox. Together, we will journey across the cosmos and search for some of the
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's.
Good evening, guys. Welcome back to Retro Sci-Fi Nights. This is your host, Adrian Maddox, as always, and tonight we're going to be listening to A Pail of Air. So, A Pail of Air is a science fiction short story by American writer Fritz Leiber. It originally appeared in the December 1951 issue of Galaxy magazine and was dramatized on the radio show X-1. You know, X-1 is our favorite on this show, so I got, let's see, I actually have a new drink this time. I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit. I do have all my stuff from the last show. I still have my Game of Thrones, Johnny Walker. I got Fireball. Got my Jack Daniels. I got my Black Cherry White Claws. But the new thing, my sister told me to try this. It's she said it was schnapps. I've never had schnapps before. I don't really know what it is. It's pomegranate. We'll see if it's good. I've never tasted this before or anything like it, so I'll let you guys know. So, it's called De Cooper. I have no idea. I can't pronounce things, guys. Like, you don't make fun of me, alright? Oh, this is some girly drink. Alright, so I'm actually pretty excited for the show here. Like, this has been a lot of fun, so let's go ahead and get this, let's get this bad boy started.
In just a moment, X-1. But first, if you're planning to join the family for this holiday weekend, remember you have
My
a
volume
friend
is always so low
through the
at
long
first.
hours on the road.
Turn it up.
That friend is your car radio, and it brings you a full weekend of the most stimulating variety entertainment.
Hey, it wouldn't be a podcast without an ad, right? At least one ad.
Yes, you set your dial just once for hours and hours of refreshing variety. News as it happens, sports coverage, everything from baseball to skin diving,
That's the
interviews
White
with
Claw
the
right there.
stars.
Yeah, I love these things. I don't know why. Like
to hear. It's all on Monitor this weekend.
it's weird because I don't
Now
like
stay tuned for X-1
I don't like
on
carbonated
NBC.
water, and that's basically what this is.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
You know we got to do it every time. X-1. Got to do it with me. I did not decide on a drinking game for this episode because it never works out according to plan. And every time I pick a word to have to take a shot to, they end up saying it like so many times that I like, simply can't do it.
And space. These are stories of the future.
But I was thinking,
Adventures in which you'll live in a
later on,
years on
once we get a bit of a following, people actually listening to these,
National Broadcasting
I'm
Company,
going to
in
have
collaboration with
the community
Galaxy
vote
Science
on
Fiction Magazine,
like certain
presents
words that I'll have to drink too. So that'll be kind of cool.
One.
I have no idea what the show's about. I think it's about a boy.
Night Story. A Pail of Air by Fritz Leiber.
All right, it's starting.
It was pretty quiet in the nest. Pa was just sitting by the fire, staring into it like he does these days, and Ma was asleep. That's why it was so quiet. Ma has some pretty bad times when she just screams and screams and huddles back against the blankets that line the nest.
What the
Beth was
hell?
looking at herself in the mirror that hangs next to the bookshelf. I don't know what she finds to look at so long, but then she's a girl. She just looks at herself.
Just girl things.
Saturdays, when Pa puts a couple of extra lumps of coal on the fire and we take a bath, she looks at herself in the mirror and sometimes she cries.
I'm gonna start this out strong. I'm gonna try this
I
pomegranate
dropped the book I was reading,
thing.
and I guess that woke Ma.
Pouring a shot of it.
Huh? What? What?
I hope it doesn't taste like cough syrup.
I'm sorry, Pa.
It's come back.
Kind of looks like cough syrup.
Hasn't it, Alfred?
It's like
It's come back.
It was
purple,
just Bud. He
red.
dropped his book.
Oh, but it's come back. Well, it's
what
out there now, isn't
what
it?
percentage alcohol is this?
I
Oh, it's
feel a lot
15.
more.
Now, Ethel.
Oh, okay. This is literally nothing. All right.
Just the way it always
Bottoms up.
was. I know. I had a dream, Alfred.
I know, dear. Sis, melt your mother a cup of water.
I'm combing my hair.
Sis.
Oh, all right.
Got to
It's
get
not
up.
bad.
I know it's there.
It it does vaguely remind me of cough syrup, though.
And daffodils.
I think that's just
What are
like
daffodils, Ma?
Well, Buddy
what you
said-
get when you get, like a fruity flavor and
And they're
alcohol.
very pretty.
It's always going to taste kind of like cough syrup unless you put other
on
stuff
a
in it.
tall green stalk. Oh, I want to
15%
go out.
alcohol.
I want to take the children out.
All right now, Ethel. Here's some water.
Come on, children. We'll all go out and you can play in the sun.
Sure, Ma.
Here, drink the water, Ma.
It's cold, Alfred. You rap on the pipes and make that super send up some more heat.
What's a super, Pa?
It doesn't matter, Bud. There aren't any anymore.
Oh,
Pa, the pail's running low.
Bud, you better get into your things and go out and get an extra pail of air.
there are a couple of pails behind the first blankets.
Go on, get into your things.
It isn't back, is it?
No.
What the heck?
There's no sun in the sky. No sun, is there?
No, Ma. What was it like?
The sun.
Sis, don't get your ma upset.
So there's no more
sun
sun.
was yellow. And so bright you couldn't look at it. Burning hot. So hot. But when you stretched out in it, it made you feel warm all over. Tingly warm. It's been so long since I've been that warm.
I was warm last year on my birthday when Pa put all that extra coal on.
And then every morning it would come out of the east. Make the clouds all pink and yellow.
So none of the kids have seen
The
sun
mist would
before.
rise in the ground, and then slowly everything would glow warmer, warmer. And then it would be up there in the sky, shining, warm.
Hurry up, Bud.
They're living in
Almost ready,
in a
Pa.
really cold environment because there's no sun.
I want the sun back.
That actually would be crazy if there was just
Get
no
me the
sun
It's gone, Ethel.
and you were a survivor somehow.
What can do?
For Christmas? On my birthday?
Go ahead, Bud. Take the big pail and get it full this time. There's no sense in taking the trip for only half a bucket of air.
I spilled it the last time.
It's dark, Alfred, it's dark.
So a bucket
Go
of
ahead.
air.
Strap down the helmet, will you, sis?
For goodness sake, stand up straight.
Okay. All right, I'll be right back.
Don't hold the blankets open too long. All right, Ethel. We're all safe. Bud'll be right back with another pail of air. It's all right.
I don't. How is he getting buckets of air? I don't get that.
I went through the 30 or so blankets that Pa hung up to slow down the air escaping from the nest. Of course, I knew the way. I've been going out for air since I was a kid. Still, I get a funny, crawly feeling every time I go out of the nest. You gotta go up to the 5th floor, which is just above the blanket of frozen air. You see, when the earth got cold, all the water in the air froze first and made a blanket about 10 feet thick or so. And then down on top of that dropped all the crystals of frozen air, making another blanket 60 or 70 feet thick. I came out of the window we use on the 5th floor and started to scoop up the air into my pail. I had it about full. But my
Okay.
fingers are getting pretty cold when I saw something.
It's so cold that the air is frozen, and so he can go
Hey, that's a light.
outside
Over the bucket.
and scoop it up,
Can't be a
and then
light.
bring it back into his
Moving around
into their
in a window
shelter.
like that. There can't be. Come on, Pa and Sis are back in the nest. I'm up here, and there can't be anyone else. Everybody on Earth is dead except us.
They are on Earth. This is
I have no idea
weird.
How Ma must feel sometimes, the way she sees things. But there it was, moving around in the building across the way. I stood there shaking, and I almost froze my feet. I did frost my helmet so solid on the inside I couldn't see anything. So I hurried up and scooped up another bucket of air and headed back for the nest as fast as I could.
Oh, yeah, he's got his bucket full of air.
Pa,
Dude, he saw something out there.
Go on, hang those outside clothes up by the fire.
Phew. Pa, I saw something. I did.
Your mother's quiet now.
Impossible.
Don't upset her.
Pa, it was a light.
Wait till I get this air next to the fire. Give me the cloth, sis.
Shall I put another lump of coal on, Pa?
No. The oxygen from this bucket will get the fire up when it begins to melt.
Okay, they use the fire to melt the
Trying to
air.
tell you, I saw something up there. Light.
Interesting.
There's lots of lights. Stars.
Sounds
I
like
know
a
what stars
horrible
look like,
existence.
Dopey. They're big, steady white lights in the sky. This was down here in a building.
I'm pouring
Alfred,
shot of fireball.
Nothing, Ethel. No, what is this bucket?
Well, first I thought it
think
was a
it was 2
lady,
shots.
a young lady. I mean it. Like in one of those old magazines. I thought I saw it in a window. But then all I saw was a light.
You watched it for some time,
Long enough for it to pass 5 windows and go to the next floor.
and it didn't look like stray electricity?
No, Pa, I know what that looks like.
Or a star refracted through an icicle? Sometimes if you catch it at the right angle, it...
Pa, honest, I never saw anything like it before.
All right. I'll go out with you and you show me.
No, Alfred. You can't go and leave us alone, not both of you.
It's all right. We'll be right back.
Here's your helmet, Pa.
There's something out there. Always known there was something out there waiting to get us.
Hand me my glove.
Something that's part of the cold, hates all warmth, wants to destroy the nest. Been watching us all this time. Now it's coming after us, and it'll get you, and then it'll come for me. Oh, don't go, Alfred. Please don't go.
Everything will be all
She's
right. Now, sis,
Yes,
she's going
Pa?
crazy.
you come watch the fire.
What could survive
That
in
air,
something that
too.
cold that it's freezing
Gets
the
too low, it
oxygen?
doesn't seem
I
to be
don't
boiling fast enough.
know if that's
Put another
accurate.
bucket behind the blanket.
Alfred,
The sun-
don't go.
I'll take care of it,
Without
Pa.
the sun, would oxygen freeze?
Could there
I don't
really
know.
be anybody out there?
I don't see how. We heard the last radio voices a year before Bud was born. There hasn't been anything since then.
Then what could it be?
I don't know.
So
Probably...
there's either people out there,
Just a
or maybe
reflection.
there's robots.
crystal
Who knows? Does robots work well in the cold?
Come on, Bud.
Like
Get your helmet
computers
on.
do, anyway. Yeah, who would be on the surface? I don't think there would be any creatures, right? Because it's way too cold for actual
It's
life.
funny. When I go out alone, I'm not scared or anything. But when I go out with Pa, I always
Fireball
wonder
is
what it felt like I used to when I was a
33%
little kid.
alcohol.
Habit, I guess. To say no matter what trip we take.
My Jack Daniels,
On the 5th floor,
that
we
I
stopped
hate,
to rest just before we went out. We were in a room
65.8%.
with the frozen people.
That's why it's
The
so
lady
gross.
sitting looking at the door. The man holding his hands over that funny metal thing Pa calls a radiator. It was like a fire, I guess, but I don't see any place for the cold. We put our helmets together.
What is
so
my
we could
Game of
talk.
Thrones whiskey?
Catch your breath, son.
Let's look at this.
Pa, would it be possible... I mean, for any of the frozen people to come to life? Like the ones
Let's
down in
see
the
it
basement
on
around the
here.
furnace when we go for water?
No, they're dead. They were caught too quickly when it happened.
Oh, Pa, how do we know we're the
40%.
only ones?
We don't, but... Well, there's a feeling you get. Because it's always night. There used to be some of that feeling every night in the old days. But the sun chased it away every morning. You wouldn't know about that. You weren't born when the dark star pulled us away from the sun. You wouldn't know unless you'd seen the sun.
I've seen the sun. It's that big star at the end of the Big Dipper. I've seen it.
It isn't the same. Come on.
Dark Star, huh?
We're wasting time.
So the Dark Star pulled them away from the sun, so Earth has lost its orbit around the sun.
I don't know what the city looked like in the old days, but now it's beautiful. The starlight lets you see it pretty well. We're up on a hill, and the plain slopes down away from us. Some taller buildings push up out of the feathery plain, topped by rounded caps of air crystals. Some of them are on a slant because a lot of the buildings are badly twisted by the quakes and everything when the dark star pulled the Earth away from the sun. That's why Pa can't seal up the nest airtight. The building's twisted too bad. Besides, we have to keep the chimney open. We touched our helmets together so we could talk.
Is that where you saw it, son?
It isn't there anymore.
Uh-huh.
But it feels different. I mean, as if there's something out here, waiting.
Bud.
He has a sixth sense.
If you see something like that again, don't tell the others.
Huh?
I
Why
see
not?
Well,
ice creatures.
Your ma's sort of nervous these days, and we owe her all the feeling of safety we can give her. Once it was when your sister was born, I was ready to give up and die, but your mother kept me trying. Another time, she kept the fire going a whole week all by herself.
I don't know. This would be hard to live in a world like this, because there is absolutely no hope at all.
Well,
like,
courage is like a ball.
You're doomed.
Person can hold it on
Even if
so
you
long,
try and survive, like, it does not matter.
When it's tossed your way, you've got to catch it and hold it tight. And hope there'll be someone else to toss it to when you get tired of...
Even if they get, like, somewhere...
Yeah.
I mean...
Come on.
Could they get...
Fill up the pails and get back.
Could generations survive long enough for the Earth to get in orbit around another sun? I don't know.
Come on.
That is such a tiny likelihood for that to happen, that... And they would have to survive for, like, generations, because the Earth is just flying through space, and it's not going to cover much distance, you know what I mean? Closest star is what, Alpha Centauri?
I mean,
I'm not sure how far away that is, but it's pretty far. You're not going to get there in your lifetime.
Stands up straight. The floor is all covered with thick woolly rugs. Pa says it's inside a much bigger room, but I've never seen the real walls or ceiling. Well,
that was weird. It kind of cut out for a second.
And kidded about what I'd seen. He said I had an imagination, but we could tell he took it serious. It was Sunday morning by the clocks that Pa kept.
No one believes him. I mean, I don't know if I would believe him either.
We all sat around in a circle the way we always do. Except I noticed that Pa casually took a hammer from the shelf and put it beside him. I always liked the story. Of course, Sis and I know it by heart.
So you notice something too, and it's just like doesn't want to scare his family, I guess.
But every once in a while, Pa surprises us by telling it a little different, or throwing in some extras. It starts out with a song. Ma used to sing it, but she forgets the words sometimes. And now Pa sings it mostly.
Oh, beautiful for spacious
skies, or amber waves of grain,
thy purple
mountains' majesties, above the fruited plains. Like the harmony?
Words don't mean anything. I mean, the skies are spacious enough, but there aren't any waves of grain, and the plain is all covered with a blanket of frozen air.
And connected with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. That's some harmonization right there.
The sun hung above.
Everyone take a shot for harmonization.
And the earth was fruitful and multiplied, and the fields were green.
Johnny Walker, I'm taking it straight from the bottle. No one else drinks this but me.
Blew across the hilltops, and the air was free and good to breathe.
Oh!
That's the part of the story I like best.
Fireball and that other pomegranate is so smooth that
it's hard to believe all those.
It put me in a false sense of
and air.
Security.
Up sweating and screaming because you dreamed the fire went out.
Finish off the White Claw.
To believe, but Pa was a good storyteller, and he made it seem real.
And then the dark star came rushing out of space. In the beginning, they tried to keep the news from the people, but when the floods and the earthquake started, the truth came out. At first, they thought the dark star would hit the sun, and then they were afraid it would strike the earth itself. But it didn't. It only came close.
I might be looking too deep into this, but
Pa tells it like the
astronomers should have been able to tell exactly where it was going.
I know what he means.
So that
I've
leads
seen a
me to
picture of the
believe
dog in a
that
magazine.
maybe
And then
it's not
the Dark
a...
Star won and carried us off.
It's more than it seems.
The sun kept the moon. There were earthquakes and floods. Pa says that mountains fell and oceans slopped over. Oceans, that's a lot of melted water lying around loose. It's hard to imagine. But Pa says it was so. Then came the open question time in the story. Sis asked a question about what girls wore for clothes. And I asked Pa how people acted in those days when the earth was twisted and jerked almost apart.
Well, Bud, I was too busy to notice much. A friend of mine, Dr. Weisbrot, and Kelly, the geophysicist, and Walters, the astronomer, we knew what was going to happen.
Geophysicist.
And we were working
That's cool.
to fix up a place with airtight walls and insulation and big supplies of food and bottled air. But the place got smashed up in the earthquakes, and they were all killed. So I put the nest together at the last minute in the living room of our apartment. It's a 4-room apartment.
You must have seen some of the people, like the frozen ones downstairs.
At that time, Bud, I only thought of one thing.
Keeping
Your
the
mother?
family safe.
And survival. If I had stopped to think, I wouldn't have even tried to make the nest. Would have seemed ridiculous. Blankets and a coal fire against the cold and vacuum of space. But I didn't think. I survived.
That he did. He's still alive.
I wasn't listening carefully as Pa went on about the building of the nest. I kept thinking about something else. About that light I'd seen outside. I kept asking myself, what if the frozen people were coming to life?
No.
What if they were like the liquid helium
It's something
that
else.
crawls toward heat when it should be frozen solid?
It has to do with the Dark Star,
Something
probably.
from the Dark Star to get us. Something making the frozen people move, not by themselves. That would fit with what I'd seen. A young lady's face and the moving light. I sat there and shivered, thinking of the frozen people with minds from the Dark Star creeping.
I wonder if people could survive in, like,
Snuffing their way
maybe
following
caves,
to the nest.
I
And then
don't know, like, underground,
over the
like,
other
springs,
blanket, I heard
or...
a tiny noise.
So I asked
I wonder if there's a way to
myself
use, like, geothermal
what's the use of going
energy
on?
to...
Why prolong
alive.
a doomed existence of hard work and cold and loneliness? The human race is done. The earth is done. Why not give up, I asked myself.
And then I did hear the noise. Louder this time. A kind of shuffling tread coming closer.
And then I got the answer. The Earth's always been a lonely place millions of miles from the next planet. And no matter how long the human race might have lived, the end would have come some night. Those things don't matter. What matters is that life is good. There's a lovely texture, like some rich cloth or fur, or the petals of flowers, crocuses, daffodils, or the fire's glow. And that's as true for the last man as the first.
That's what a way to look at it.
Kept shuffling closer. Pa was talking and Ma was dreaming with her eyes closed.
That's crazy.
And Sis was looking
He's
at
right.
herself sideways in the mirror. And I was the only one who heard the noise. The noise outside.
So right then and there I told myself that I was going on as if we had all eternity ahead of us. I'd have children, and I'd teach them all I could. I'd get them to read books, try to enlarge and seal the nest. I'd try to keep everything beautiful and alive. I'd keep alive my feeling of wonder, even at the cold and the dark and the distant stars.
Pa,
Whoa.
Pa, I hear.
I know.
What is it, Alfred?
Oh, he said I know.
What is it? What's going on? Oh, you've got to tell me.
Pa, I'm scared.
Quiet.
Shut up! Why are girls always screaming?
You heard it?
Uh-huh. Kind of shuffling. Coming toward the nest.
Sis, take care of your mother.
It's all right.
I'm kind of feeling it. I've had 3 shots
I'll take the hammer.
and a whole can of
You take the
White Claw.
hatchet.
What is it, Pa? What is it?
I don't know.
Let's go for 4 shots.
It's closer.
Mush.
Fireball, here we go.
The blanket is moving. Ready with your X.
What is going on?
Hello?
Oh!
Who's there? Is there somebody in there?
Come in. It's all right.
They're alive.
What? It's a person.
Alfred Hutchinson. Dr. Alfred Hutchinson. You can take off your helmets in here.
But the air.
We have air.
We bring it in pails.
Come on, Ralph. Let's take off the helmet.
Huh.
It's impossible. Where are you from? We thought we were the only ones.
Los Alamos.
The nuclear laboratory.
Oh, that's in New Mexico.
Yes, that's right. We get our power from the reactor, using the stockpile of bombs for fuel.
Then
Oh, there's more than one.
there are others. There are other men. There are other men.
Pa, is it all right? Should I put
I mean, I feel like
It's all right. You can put it down.
odds are you're not going to be the last people alive.
It's a little bigger than this. We've got a small airtight city with airlocks.
We generate our electricity, food from hydroponics.
I can't believe it. I can't.
I can't believe this. It's impossible. You can't maintain an air supply without hermetic sealing. It's impossible.
Oh, no, it's simple. As long as you keep the fire going to melt the air, and enough air boiling to keep the fire burning.
So they
Come here.
they have a city.
Why?
Well, we keep scouting around for survivors. There are a number of colonies, Brookhaven, Oak Ridge, and Harwell in England, and the Argonne Laboratory in France.
Oh,
We didn't expect to find anything in this city, though. But our detectors picked up a heat trace, so we tracked it down.
Alfred, you're forgetting your manners. We have company.
Of course. Sis,
wow, that's crazy.
throw a handful.
I
of
mean,
coal
yeah,
on mine.
it makes sense that there'd be pockets of people all over the world.
Doesn't matter now. And Bud, bring out another pail of air.
Well, it's incredible.
And you have laboratories and transport?
We only have a two-seater Scout, but if we rip out the bulkhead to the storage compartment, we can make it all right.
We can have you back at Los Alamos in 4 hours.
What's the matter?
I guess we really hadn't thought about it that way.
But, I wouldn't know how to act there. And besides, I haven't any clothes.
Just doesn't seem
Just
right.
go
to
with
let this
them. What are you
fire go
talking
out.
about?
It's been 18 years. Burning every minute.
But you can't stay here.
Ralph.
But after all...
Ralph.
Oh,
Why would they want to stay there?
look, Dr. Hutchinson, we'll go out to the ship and bring back a small power heater. I know this is very sudden and upsetting to you. You need a chance to adjust.
Yeah, they need some time to like let it sink in that there's other people out there.
We'll be back in a few minutes.
But I feel like that would be the greatest relief, knowing that there's other people and like you can go be with them. I mean, humans are social creatures, so
They didn't think the nest smelled so good. I could tell.
She had a wave in her hair. Did you see that? And lipstick.
I suppose we have to decide what to do.
Pa, at Los Alamos and those other places, there'll be lots of people, won't there?
Yes,
I mean, not just your father or a brother.
that's right.
yep.
Boys?
I suppose so. But somehow I feel a little empty.
Alfred.
Yeah, people don't like change, even if change is good for you.
No others are alive. You don't have to feel the responsibility for keeping the human race going.
Pa, I'd like to see those rockets and laboratories. Wouldn't you, Pa?
I suppose so.
It won't be easy leaving the nest.
I wonder if there's a twist coming.
It's just right, and there's only 4 of us. It's kind of a scary idea. Big place with a lot of strangers.
You'll get over that feeling, son. The trouble with the world was that it kept getting smaller and smaller till it ended with just the nest. Now it'll be good to have a real huge world again.
I can't tell if he's trying to, like,
The way it was.
if he wants to go or he doesn't want to go. It sounds like he's trying to talk himself into going.
And so, we're gonna leave the nest in the morning. By Pa's clocks.
Wait.
We've got
Really?
the power heater going now. Seems funny to be this warm when it isn't Christmas or somebody's birthday. But still, it's hard for me to realize that this is the last time I'll go out of the nest.
It's not over yet,
Through all
is
the
it?
blankets. To get a pail of air.
Yeah, like, you get used to home, and whatever your home is, like, it's always going to be hard to leave it.
You have just heard X-1 presented by the National
Even if it's for the
Broadcasting
best.
Company in
Or
cooperation
even if it's a
with
significant
Galaxy
upgrade, you're still going to miss
Science
it
Fiction
at some
Magazine, which
level.
This month features the Edward
That's
M.
all you
Woodward
know.
story, A Coffin for Jacob. With never a moment to rest, the pursuit through
So
space
that
felt
was
like a
that was
game
the
of
whole
pound
story.
and carry.
I did think that there was going to be a twist or something.
Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand
But
today. Tonight,
no, it was pretty. What you see
X-1
is
has
what you
brought
get.
A Pail of
Interesting.
Air. A story from the pages
I
of
would
Galaxy
have liked a
written by
twist
Fritz Leiber
if they were
and
like,
adapted for radio
I don't know
by
if they were
George
robots
Leiber.
or something.
Featured in the cast
I don't know if
were
maybe
Ron
that's just like
Harold
stupid,
Morris,
but
Richard Hamilton, Eleanor Phelps, Rita Lloyd, and Joe DeSantis.
I wanna. Oh, it kind of ends too soon though, because I feel like
Daniel Sutter, and is an
the
NBC
exciting. I want to
radio
hear
network
like
production.
what he thinks of this city and him meeting other people for the first time. Like that would be really cool. Kind of ended before the good part. It almost just feels like it's just
Now
a
an
setup.
important announcement for the listeners of X-1. Beginning next week, X-1 will be heard over most of these
See what he
stations
says.
at a new time. Tuesdays at 8:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, listen next Tuesday from 8:30 to 9 p.m. for X-1. Monitor takes you everywhere this weekend on the
I feel
NBC
like
Radio Network.
that could be a movie. If it isn't already, I definitely think that like that setup is so good. A family living on Earth, and Earth has left its orbit, so you know it's dark and it's cold. They're barely surviving, and yeah, they find other people. I guess it sounds, it's reminiscent of a lot of end of the world movies and stories, I guess. But I don't know. I've never seen a movie or read a book with that premise where Earth has left the orbit. Like, that's cool because, it's really cold. That could throw, like, a cool dynamic into it and make it different. They got to wear, like, helmets and breathing apparatus. And that, yeah, I really liked that. But I just feel like it was the first chapter in a book. Is that the case? Is it just the first chapter? Maybe they don't actually do the whole thing. I'm pulling up the Wikipedia article right now. Okay, so A Pail of Air. I'm kind of just going through this plot summary real quick. They reveal that other groups of humans have survived. As well, the plans are being made to establish uranium mining colonies. Yeah, that's it. There's not a sequel. There's no continuation. That's it. It's just a short story. That's a sign of a good storyteller, though. I feel like when it leaves you wanting more. I really liked the premise. I don't know. What did you guys think? You guys should hit me up and let me know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of feeling these drinks. I had 4 shots. I drank a can of White Claw, a can and a half. I know White Claw is like nothing. It's 5%, but I'm feeling it. Like, I did not have any of the Jack Daniels. I had let me see here. I had 1 pomegranate shot, 1 Game of Thrones shot, 2 Fireball shots, and yeah, my White Claw in the span of 20 minutes. So yeah, good times. I'm feeling it as usual. That's the goal. Having just kicking back, relaxing, having some drinks, and listening to some retro sci-fi. Like, this is awesome. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for listening, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Cue the outro. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Remember to raise your telescopes and never stop on your quest for knowledge, except for maybe a drink. This is The Bar at the Edge of the Universe. I've been your host, Adrian Maddox. Thank you, and good night.